students. The topic of this session in C# is conditional statements, looping statements, and jumping statements present in C#. Here, as you have already learned these kind of statements in other programming languages like C, Java, C++, all these languages consist of the same conditional statements. You have the same set of syntax for all these statements. You are going to use the same set of statements with same syntax, but with a different kind of print statement and input statements. Here it's like a revision class for you, because you are going to learn once again the same repeated conditional statements but in C# language. The difference is that you are going to learn how to make use of the same syntax, but how to write the program code in a different manner in C#. Because here even though the same logic applies, the print statements, the main function, the namespace that you are going to use, all this makes C# programs to stand different from other languages. The first decision making statement is if statement. It's a powerful decision making statement, and it is used to control the flow of execution of statements. The syntax for this C# if condition statement is if followed by the condition, then followed by the statements. If the condition becomes true, then based on the condition, this statement is going to be printed. Obviously, you are going to write the print statement in console.writeln function. It's a writeline function. This kind of condition allows the computer to evaluate the expression or the condition first, and depending on whether the value of the expression is true or false, it transfers the control to a particular statement. For example, the condition may be like this: if bank balance equal to 0. If bank balance equal to 0, then what is going to be your print statement? Like borrow money or account balance is insufficient. You are going to print the statements like this. You can have another example like if code is 1, person is female. If you go for another kind of statement for if else, if code is 1, printf the person is male, else obviously it has to be female, then print the statement the person is female. These are the kind of examples that you can write for if and if else. The if statement may be implemented in different forms, like simple if that we discussed just now. Next, if else, nested if else if, that is nothing but ladder if, switch, and nested switch. Nested switch is not the common way of using the logic or the conditional statement in programming languages. You can refer study material for programs. Coming to nested if-else statements, when a series of decisions are involved, we may have to use more than one if-else statement. In such condition, we need this kind of statement. The syntax will be like there will be one if-else condition which is called the outer if-else condition. Inside if-else condition, you have another set of if-else condition which comes inside the outer if-else condition. There is one example here in the textbook, like a commercial bank has introduced an incentive policy of giving a bonus to all its deposit holders. The policy is as follows. A bonus of 2% of the balance held on 31st December is given to everyone, irrespective of their balances, and 5% is given to female account holders if their balance is more than 5,000. This is the incentive policy followed in that particular commercial bank. To write the nested if else statement for this, you will write a condition like if category is equal to female. Again, that is the outer if condition. Again, you will take another if condition before going to else part, or instead of writing the statements inside the if condition, you are going to write another statement like if balance is greater than 5,000. In these cases, we need nesting of if else statements. Like here in the company is following two kinds of statement for female account holders. She has to be that person who is the account holder has to be a female. That is one condition. And those females who are the account holders should have 5,000 rupees as the minimum balance in their account. More than 5,000 rupees should be the balance in their account. These are the two conditions in which a female is going to get a extra bonus amount into her account. Extra bonus amount of 5% of whatever be the balance that is there in her account. And another policy of the company is a bonus of 2% of the balance held on 31st December is given to everyone. On the day of 31st December, a bonus of 2% of the balance is given to everyone. But for female account holders, extra 5% will be provided by the commercial bank if their amount is more than 5,000. So here we are nesting one if condition inside another if condition. And we are writing the statement like if category is female, then below that if condition you have another if condition. If balance is greater than 5,000, then bonus equal to 0.05 into balance. Now you are writing the else portion. You are writing the else portion only for the inner if condition. Else bonus equal to 0.02 into balance. And for the outer if condition, you are going to write the else statement now. Here, this is for the general account holders. This is for the female account holders. Bonus equal to 0.02 into balance. Then balance is going to be increased by 2% of the balance, which is a bonus for their customers. In such cases, we need nested if else statements. There is another program. For that, you can refer the textbook of C Sharp written by prescribed textbook, I think, written by Balaguruswamy. There is another program here, nesting of if-else statement. Here, the variable A is initialized with value 325, B is initialized with value 712, and C is initialized with the value 478. Now, the question is, we need to find out the largest value among these three values. That is 325, 712 and 478. Obviously, 712 is the largest value. Now, in this case also, since we need to compare one variable with remaining two variables, we need nesting of if-else statement. Obviously, you cannot use if or if-else statement in these kind of situations. This is the task of the programmer to decide what kind of conditional statement or looping statements to be used for the program depending on the questions or the requirements of the program. That is the thing here. If to find out the largest among these three numbers, you can write the logic like this. If A is greater than B, here we have, forget about the values, here we have three variables, that is A, B and C. You are going to initially you are going to compare A with remaining two variables. Which are the remaining two variables? That is B and C. And next, in the next section, you are going to compare the next variable B with again two remaining variables. If you select B for the condition, which are the two variables that are going to remain there itself, which is unused for the condition? A and C. And if you, in the next section, if you make use of C for the condition, which are the two variables that are going to remain? That is A and B. So, the remaining variables are going to be compared with the variable which we are using for writing the condition. So, first we will take up A. Among A, B, C variables, first we will take up the variable A and compare it with the remaining two variables B and C. The syntax for nested if is, if, write the outer if, write another set of if-else condition inside that if, and then you go for else portion of the outer if condition. This is the logic. First I'll take up A and compare it with B, because the remaining variables which I am not using, if I select A, the remaining variables is going to be B and C. In the outer if condition, I am going to use if A is greater than B. That is the condition I am going to use. In the inner if condition, I'll write the condition like if A is greater than C. So I am comparing a single variable with B in a single condition, and in another conditional statement I am going to compare the same A with another variable c. So I am comparing with two variables b and c. Then write the print statement console.writeLine a. That means since I have compared the values stored inside the variable a with the values which are stored in b and c variables, I am declaring that a is largest. Else, for the inner if else condition, I am going to write else c is largest. That means I have compared, since in the inner if condition I have compared c with a. If c becomes greater, you have only two options. If a is greater than c, print this statement as a is greater. Else, you have only one option, like printing the statement c is greater. Then close the if inner if else condition. Go back to your outer if condition. There we had compared a with b. Now if you have compared a with b, the else portion, write the else portion for the outer if condition, and inside this else portion write another if else condition, like you have compared a with b, and now you need to compare, you are comparing b with a. Now you need to compare b with another remaining variable, that is c. But the conditions are in reversed position, that's it. You are comparing b with a in the outer if condition, and you are comparing again the same b with another remaining variable c. Now you are going to declare that c is greater. If c is greater than b, c is greater. Else you have only choice, you are comparing c with b. Since you are comparing c with b, you have only choice, you need to write b is greater. So you have compared, you can see, you can look into the program and see that all the variables, or the comparison of all the variables, have been covered here. So this program now is ready to print the largest value. Then coming to else if ladder. Here you need to take a series of ifs. Series of if statement. If, else if, else if, else if. You keep on writing these else ifs, and at the end you will write the else statement and put an end to the program. Here you can store a set of roll numbers and set of marks in an array. This program which I am explaining is an example for this if else if condition. Here in the program I am going to store 4 roll numbers, and the marks scored by those roll numbers are the students. Since I am using array, I need a for loop. Write the if condition. If marks is greater than 79, print the statement distinction. If else, if marks is greater than 59, print the statement first division. If a student has not scored above 59, or else if he has not scored above 79 also, obviously if he has not scored above 59, that means he also has not scored about 79. He might have scored below 59. For such students, you need to write another else if statement, like else if greater than, marks greater than 49. Declare the class as second division. In the else portion, if that particular student has scored below 49, declare the class as fail. In such cases where a series of if-else conditions is required, when multipath decisions are involved, when chain of ifs in which statement associated with each else is an if, it takes the form of if-else if condition or else if ladder condition. I hope you have understood which are the situations in which we are going to make use of only if statement, which are the situations in which we are going to make use of only if else statement. When you have only two options, either this or that, you are going to use if else statement. When you have only condition, that is the only condition which is ultimate, then you are going to use if condition. And you have three set of conditions. If you have three set of conditions, obviously you cannot make use of if else statement, because either this or that is the only option for if else statement. Since in the example which I explained before, like in a commercial bank, at the end of December 31st, every customer, every account holder is going to get 2% of balance amount, which is like a bonus into their account. And female, there is special facility for female account holders. If they have a balance greater than 5,000, they are going to get extra 5% of their balance into their account. So here you have three conditions. One, account holder should be female. She is going to get 5% of the balance if condition is like if the balance is more than 5,000. Another third condition is if all the account holders is going to get are going to get 2% of their account balance at the end of the year or on 31st December. Here you have three conditions. So you need nesting of one set of if else condition inside the huge if else condition. You are going to place that if else condition inside the if condition, and you are going to write another set of if else condition inside the else part. So you are nesting one set of if else inside another set of if else. Remember, you are going to place first set of if else inside the if condition. You are going to place second set of if else condition inside the else portion. So thus you are making a huge inner and outer if else conditions. Next, coming to else if ladder or if else if condition, when you are going to make a series of decisions, like it's not limited to one condition or two conditions or three conditions. You need to make a series of decisions, then you are going to make use of this else if ladder. Next, last one is switch and nested switch statements. It is a multi-way decision statement known as a switch. It tests the value of a given variable against a list of case values, and when a match is found, a block of statements associated with that case is executed. the expression must be an integer type or char or string type. The switch statement is executed in the following order. That means you have a list of steps. The expression is going to be evaluated first. You are going to write the keyword switch. Inside that you can write the constant expressions which is of char or integer type or string type. The value of the expression or the condition is successively compared against the values or the case numbers. After writing the switch keyword and expression, you need to write the case keyword. After the case keyword, provide a space, write the case numbers. You can keep on writing the case conditions, and for each case, write a break statement at the end of each block signal, and write the default case, which is an optional case. Write it at the end of the statement. There is one program here for switch statement. I will explain the logic of switch statement with the example. Like as I told before, write the switch keyword, write the expression. Like if I provide the expression called as name, which is going to accept only string cases. First case is case Bombay. You can write case 1, case 2, case 3 like that also. Here the name is declared with string data type. It is going to accept only series or the collection of characters. Write case Bombay. Write the print statement as Bombay guide 5. Put a break condition. Write another case London, Paris, and write the default case. If you are not going to input any of these string or the collection of characters, then it is going to print this statement as invalid choice. So this is about conditional statements. Next, we have looping statements. C# language provides 4 constructs for performing looping operations. Here also you have the same looping statements that you have learned, like while statement, do statement, for statement. One extra statement is there. If you have learned Java language, I hope then you might be familiar with this loop, like for each loop, which is used to make easy for the programmers to visit array indexes while writing array-based C# programs or Java programs. Here the same syntax is present for looping statement. A looping process would include 4 steps usually, like setting and initialization of an counter, execution of the statements in the loop, test for a specified condition, and increment the counter. First, you are going to initialize the value, write while keyword, test condition, then write the body of the loop. It's an entry controlled statement. There is one example here in the textbook, like if you specify the condition while n is less than or equal to 10, and you can make use of if conditions inside the looping statement, because the looping means it's a repetitive or the continuous execution of the iterations or the statements. If there is a continuous execution of the statements or block of statements, if it is keep on executing continuously, there should be some condition to control those looping operations. For that purpose, we make use of conditional statement inside the looping statements. Here in this program, I'm going to write the condition if n is less than or equal to 10. That is the condition here, and the initialization counter is going to be n equal to 1. So according to syntax, I am explaining the program. First is initialization. I am initializing the variable n with 1, while condition, and then you can write the statements. Here the statement is if that variable n which is storing the values which ranges from 1 to 10, because we have initialized the value to 1 and we are ending the value which is stored inside the n with 10. That is the condition while n is less than or equal to 10. If n is less than or equal to 10 and if it is starting with the number 1 and ending with 10, you are going to get 10 numbers between 1 and 10. If only those numbers are present, then make a calculation by dividing those numbers by 2. If you divide those numbers by 2 in a series and you are going to get the remainder as 0, then increment the value which is inside the n. That is the condition here. 1 ಇಂದ 10 ವರೆಗೆ 10 ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ನಂಬರು 2 ಇಂದ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ಬನ್ನಿ. 2 ಇಂದ 1 ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ 2, 2 ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ 2, 3 ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ 2, 4 ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ 2. ಅದು ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 1 ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ 10 ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಲೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ 100 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ 100 ತನಕನೂ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ increment by 1 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ I'll take the second number for example, 2 divided by 2. What is the remainder for 2 divided by 2? 0 ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಏನು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ? ಇಫ್ n mod 2 ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ mod means ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, mod ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಅರ್ಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ನಾವು ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಆಪರೇಟರು ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0, increment the value which is inside the n. Since I am dividing 2 by 2, the remainder is 0, then n plus plus. Plus plus ಏನು? Increment operator. Modulus ಏನು? Arithmetic operator. Less than or equal to ಏನು? Relational operator. Double equal to ಏನು? It's a bitwise logical operator or equality operator. So one number increase ಆಯಿತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಬರು 3. 3ನ 2 ಇಂದ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ ಬರೋದು 1. ಸೊ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಯಾವುದು ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಆ ನಂಬರು ಇಂಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದು ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ 0 ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಒಂದೊಂದು ನಂಬರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 4 ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. 4ನ 2 ಇಂದ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ, 2 2s are 4, ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ 0 ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಆಯಿತು. ದೆನ್ ಇಂಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ನಂಬರ್, ಯಾವುದು ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ನಂಬರ್ನ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ 2 ಇಂದ, ಈ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಈಗ ಈ ಇಟಿರೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 4ನ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಯಾವ ನಂಬರು 2 ಇಂದ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ 0 ಕೊಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ನಂಬರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ 4 5 ಆಗಿದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಎನದರ್ ನಂಬರ್ 5. ನಂಬರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಡ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ 2 ಇಂದ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆದಾಗ ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ 0 ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಈವನ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರೋದು. ಸೊ ಈವನ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇಂಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ಟು 1 3 5 7 9 ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್, ಇದು 100 ತನಕನೂ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, 1000 ತನಕನೂ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ನೀವು ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ you use this entry controlled loop. This entry controlled loop used in C# or in other languages is while loop. Next you have do while loop, which is an exit controlled loop. Exit control loop, it is going to test the condition at the end of the statement. Here there is one example. Here in this do while statement you are going to write the condition at the end of the block, write the do keyword. The statement is sum equal to sum plus I equal to I plus 2. And here we have two variables like sum and I, and initialize both the variables according to syntax, I with 1 and sum with 0. Sum equal to sum plus I means sum equal to 0 plus 1. That means you are going to get 1 in the first iteration, add that value. Now you are going to increment 1 with 2, that is 3. Now the value of I is 3. The value of sum is 1 plus 3, that is going to be 4. So these are the output statements that you are going to get, and this looping continues until the sum is less than 40 or I is less than 10. These are the two conditions. Here in the condition we have used logical OR. The logic of logical OR is if any one of the input is true, output is true. Until I is less than 10 or sum is less than 40. Whichever comes earlier is going to limit your looping statements. This is an example for do while loop, and you can use switch statement also inside the do while loop for some complex programs. Next you have for statement. In the for syntax, you have initialization loop, initialization condition. In case of while and do while loop, you are going to write the initialization condition above the loop, but here in the for statement, which is also an entry control loop, you are going to write it inside the for function. After the for keyword, you have the brackets. Inside that, you are going to write the initialization statement, test condition, and increment statement. You can make use of nested for loop, for each loop. For more information, you can refer study materials. And there is a concept called jumps in loops. Those are called as C# jump statements. It performs a set of operations repeatedly until the control variable fails to satisfy the test condition. When a break statement is encountered inside a loop, loop is immediately exited and the program continues with the statement immediately following the loop. You have learned the use of a break statement in a switch statement also. You can go for labeled jumps. Continue statement is there, which is going to skip a part of the loop and continue with the statements. Like for example, you are processing some set of applications. ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಂಪನಿದು ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ದೇ ಮೇ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ ಟು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ನು ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ದಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಲೇ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದೇ ಮೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಡ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ 60. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ 60 ಯಾರು ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ದೇರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಥೌಸಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ who have scored less than 60 out of lakhs of students who have applied. So lakhs of students ಅಲ್ಲಿ thousands ನ ತೆಗೆಯೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ tedious process. It takes months manually ನೀವು ಹೋದರೆ. For that purpose, we take the help of these kind of statements like continue statements while building applications. Continue statement ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? The logic of continue statement ಏನು? Skip the following statements and continue with the next iteration. A particular category of students who have scored less than 60, ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸು ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌವ್ 60 ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ರಿಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದು ವಿತಿನ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ. These people who have scored greater than 60, these people are eligible for admission for the course ಅಂತ. ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುಯಲಿ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್, tedious process. Skip some of the iterations and continue with the execution of next iteration. ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಇಫ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಲೂಪಿಂಗ್ ನೀವು ಈ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ 60 ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ 60 ಯಾವುದಿದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕಿಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಟರೇಷನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 60 ಆರ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂಥ ಕೇಸಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ದಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟು ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪುಟ್ ಎ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕೇಸ್. ಇಟಿರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Loop is immediately exited and program continues with the statement immediately following the loop. When the loops are nested, break would only exit from the loop containing it. ಈಗ you have nested for loop. ನಾವು ಅದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. Nested for loop, I asked you to refer the study material. ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಒನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್ ಒನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಎನದರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್, ದೆನ್ ದಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಎ ನೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್, ಕಂಡೀಷನಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಪ್ರೇಟರ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಈ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್ ಎನದರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ದಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಒನ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಔಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್. ಈ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪುಟ್ ಎ ಬ್ರೇಕ್. ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಈಗ 2 ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸಸ್ಗೆ, ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Usually we make use of for loop while writing array programs. Arrayನಲ್ಲಿ it's a collection of similar kind of data elements, but you can store numerous amount of elements inside the array. You can retrieve the data element from a particular position with the help of the array indexes. ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಆ್ಯರೇ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸು ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ರಿಟ್ರೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸು ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಂಥ ಕೇಸಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯರೇ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಆರ್ ನೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, and if you write that break statement inside the for loop, ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಲೂಪಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಔಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಇಟಿರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಎ ಲೇಬಲ್ with the jump statements. I hope you have understood the concept of conditional jumping and looping statements in C#. Thank you all.